Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at a very impressive ship that, well, is not a mech, it cannot walk, it's more like a fighter ship in mech form, but this is the BX-12, which is this glorious thing right here. So this is a very impressive design that has one hell of a lot of firepower on it, as well as one hell of a lot of moving parts. Pressing F10 and find it in the spawner menu, the BX-12 is 1,339 small blocks, using the decorator block number 2 and Wasteland DLC packs. We've got a nice lot of information about it on the Steam Workshop page, where it states it cannot walk and is generally used in space. We'll just give this a thumbs up. Move around to the very front where I currently am, we'll have a quick look around the outside, then I'll hop on in it and show you what it can do. So if we were to start, say, at the head and we'll work our way down, this is what we get at the top of this mech. So front and centre we see some great use of our Wasteland spotlight just acting as the face. We also got one hell of a lot of lovely blue, white and grey blocks which make up the main body of the ship, and some great use of our letter blocks. Moving down slightly onto this section, we can see some rocket launchers on our shoulder pads along with 2 interior lights. Right in the centre of his chest he's got an LCD screen showing us our artificial horizon, and this part is part that can fold all the way down thanks to this hinge to allow you to get in and out. We can also see a couple of Gatling guns to blast your enemies with. There's the camera to help aim this thing forwards from first person view. There's a couple of hydrogen thrusters to help move this thing around. Right on his crotch area he has a button, which is going to be how we're going to fall down that section to get in and out of it. And there is his arms with a rocket launcher and a bunch of Gatling guns. Moving all the way down onto his legs, that is what we get. We got red and green light, we got some grey blocks acting as his knee section. Then down to his feet we got some more lights, which should just be his little toes. Then we'll turn around and onto the side, this is what we get. So we've got some more hydrogen thrusters, we can see some more Gatling guns at the back of the gun, some great use for our piston heads, some more thrusters at the back because he does have a jetpack, and we should be able to, if I understand this correctly, I haven't tried it out yet, be able to dispose of this backpack in an emergency. We can see some hydrogen tanks, some O2H2 generators, a lot of blaster edge blocks for some decoration, and we move around onto the back of him, and this is what we get. So right at the back we've got a button which we'll come back to a bit later. There we can clearly see our hydrogen tanks on both sides, we can see our conveyors linking everything together, our merge blocks attaching our thruster section onto the main mech. Then onto this part, these thrusters can be folded all the way around to boost you forwards instead of boosting you straight up. We'll get a better look at that when we're in the cockpit. Moving all the way down, that's a connector to help refuel this with ammunition and hydrogen, as well as to store it in your base or on your ship. And at the back of the legs, there's the hinges to allow it to fold backwards and into different poses. And all the way down to its feet, we can see a couple more hinges. Then down and underneath it, we've got a couple of hydrogen thrusters on his feet, as well as some magnetic plates to be able to lock it down. Moving all the way up to the main body, that's what we get there. We can see how the legs have been angled. Then moving all the way up and looking down at it. There we go. And that is a very brief look around the outside of the BX-12. It looks bloody fantastic. I'm really happy I found this because I just scrolled over to the page 1000 on the workshop and saw this, and I had to do it. Anyway, grabbing hold of my character, what we can do very quickly is just come to the rear of this ship where we have that button panel. Where if we were to press it, this is going to be for our back hinges. So pressing this is what I talked about with our thrusters to push you around while in space. We'll go and put that back so we can test it out, like I said, when in the cockpit. Coming around and to the front, we need to come to his crotch button to press this, and that's going to fold all the way down and allow us to get inside. So there's our little seat, we can hop into this in first person view. This is what we get all the way around. I can bring up the HUD, press number 8, then I can seal myself inside. So on our LCD screens we've got our gravity, our meters per second, power and hydrogen, data unavailable, the time of day and our weather. Looking all the way up, we can see how the head has been attached onto that rotor. But then for the rest of the controls, we come into a camera like so. I can press number 1. This is going to be to fire our chest Gatling guns. Pressing number 2 is going to be for our camera on our torso. Pressing number 3 is going to be for our rocket launchers, but we don't want to fire them just yet. Number 4 is for that connector at the back. Number 5 is what we're going to need to press before we can use our rockets. Where pressing that, our arms are going to fold all the way forwards. And now when we shoot our Gatling guns, they all fire together. And we can shoot our rocket launchers. So there we go. I'll just fold that all the way down once again. And there we are. Pressing number 6, that's going to be for our reloadable rocket launchers that sit on our shoulders. Number 7 is to turn on and off our magnetic plates on our feet. Number 8 is to open that section where I got in and out of. Number 9 is once again for our magnetic plates to lock and unlock it. On to tab number 2. Now these are some very odd controls. While I will need to take control over it temporarily, undo the parking brakes and lift this ship all the way up. We'll come back to button number 5. Pressing that, as well as lifting up the guns, it does move the legs apart, giving you a very powerful shooting stance. On to tab number 2. Number 2 is going to be to go into a knee stance, where our legs are going to fold backwards. It's coming around like so and pressing that. That'll fold our legs all the way back. So now when we're able to fly this thing around in third person view, that's what we get. Then of course we can put the legs back like so. And there we go, we can use our feet thrusters to move ourselves forwards. Pressing number 4, that's going to be for our rear thrusters at the back, which is the same as our button. So now we can get some more speed moving forwards. And then turning them back down again, we can help move all the way up. Number 7 and number 8, this is going to turn off our merge blocks at the back there. Pressing number 8, this is going to activate some ion thrusters, where if you were to move this thing around, it's going to break those conveyors, and it will eventually disconnect those thrusters on the side, allowing us to scoot away in case, say, they took damage. There we go, there goes one of the arms, and the other one should follow shortly. There it goes, and now we can fly away like so. And there they go down there. They should explode at any second, or they're just going to fly off into space. But anyway, what we can do now is just come into here, we can go back into this pose. There we go, we can lift up our arms. I do like flying around with the knees bent like this. And now we just fly around and shoot all the enemies with our Gatling guns. We then switch to our rocket launchers and fire it like so. And there we go, that is pretty much it for what the BX-12 has to offer. It's a bloody fantastic design that was uploaded to the workshop some point last year. So I don't know how I missed this. But yes, there'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with it yourself. I highly recommend you do because it is an absolute fantastic design. It's got a great overall look, a great amount of firepower, and you can fly around like a ship and just show off to your friends. Just like I said, there'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around for yourself. Highly recommend you do because it is a fantastic looking mech. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.